So I'm currently making my video on 2014 horror versus 2024 horror. How much of a difference does a decade make in horror? Let's see if I can chat. All right. Oh, I don't really need. All right, so over here. Music better actually be copyright free. Cool. So I'll probably be going for like an hour. Some things that I think were interesting to note about these 2 years of horror are the vampires. In 2024, obviously we had Nosferatu. We also had Abigail. So two vampire movies, two pretty big hitters, at least in this list. In this list, I've just got some movies that I thought that were worth mentioning. And then over in 2014, we had What We Do in the Shadows, and we had I thought there was Dracula Untold. Dracula Untold is a pretty heavy hitter. That one was 70 million budget, which is kind of crazy. Let's move this guy just a little bit. There we go. So vampire movies were a big hit. A funny little like connection that I saw was Substance body horror versus like Tusk body horror, which two very different movies, yet they both have some intense body horror. Um, and Tusk had the 3 million budget. Substance had 17.5 million. Let's see if we sort by budget. Why didn't that work? Edit number. Actually, I don't think that. All right, that's not gonna work. Let's go back to what did I sort by? Oh, IMDb rating. So as far as like the duds, we had pretty equivalent like bad horror movies that came out both years. Zombieverse in 2014, which is bad depending on who you ask about it. Ouija, which was a huge flop, and luckily Mike Flanagan came in for the sequel and kind of revived that little franchise, although we haven't gotten anything since Ouija Origin of Evil. And VHS Viral, really arguably the only bad VHS entry, if you ask me. And then, of course, last year, Tarot, which, if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, you know my thoughts on Tarot. I personally liked it, but obviously The majority of people don't. It's rated a 4.8. Had a budget of 8.2 million. And yeah, there's really no arguing that people just don't like it. 31,000 reviews on IMDb. Night Swim. Admittedly, I have not seen Night Swim yet, but I have heard plenty of people talk about how bad it is. And then The Strangers Chapter 1, one of the worst experiences I've ever had in a theater. What a waste of time that movie was. Um, but in developing my script for this movie, I'm trying to figure out like what sort of bullet points are worth talking about here, like maybe what subgenres dominated these years, um, like what styles and tropes, and like maybe talk about what was going on, like the political landscape, to see if any of that ties in a lot. Um, for zombie movies, last year we had Lisa Frankenstein, and then zombie movies in 2014 we have Life After Beth, which I just rewatched, which is it's a fun movie. I don't know if I'd call it groundbreaking or anything, but it's a fun movie. Um, was there another zombie movie? Oh yeah, Dead Snow 2, Nazi zombies. Um, just which is fun. Now we only have what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18 movies in these tables that I made here. My beautiful Google Sheets skills on display. Um, but when we go to just watch, and now these are the criteria that I used for the video. I used release year, obviously 2014. This is what this list is. Genre, I only included horror. Rating, I each movie had to have at least 10,000 IMDb ratings. I felt like that's a movie that has that many reviews. Like that's the minimum that a movie needs to like be well regarded or not. And that pretty much means that there are going to be no hidden gems on the list. So yeah, 10,000 reviews or more. And then what other criteria did I use? That might have been it. But yeah, for 2014 we came out with 58 titles. So there are 30 titles not necessarily in my table here. But some other notable movies. Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me is always kind of a tough one to put on lists because you have to watch. And actually, this is just the missing pieces. It's not even Fire Walk with Me, which is good to know. Fire Walk with Me came out in 1992. Long time ago. If I had given that any actual thought, I would have realized that it doesn't matter. Fire Walk with Me is one where it's like it's a really good movie and adds to the show so much, but you also like it kind of out of context without the watching seasons 1 and 2 of Twin Peaks. It holds no ground, I guess. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is in there. Spring is in there by Benson Moorhead. Housebound I have on my list. Great underrated comedy horror movie out of New Zealand. I love Housebound. Going back, Time Lapse is one that I want to rewatch. It's kind of a time bending movie. Actually, let's do this. All right. As Above, So Below. That's like one of the probably my favorite horror movie on this list. A lot of surprisingly good found footage came out in 2014. So we have As Above, So Below, Creep. The Borderlands came out that year. The Borderlands is surprised it has enough reviews to count in this. So I feel like that's kind of an underrated gem. Um, Unfriended. Like that one was found footage, right? So that like the MySpace one. What else do we have here? Rec 4, it's part of a found footage franchise, but that one they switched it to not found footage style. Exists, Bigfoot movie. But yeah. The Woman in Black. What is this? Oh, The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. Yeah. So obviously Daniel Radcliffe isn't in that one. And The Woman in Black got 6.4. People do love The Woman in Black. But yeah, that sequel obviously not quite as good. Um, A Haunted House 2. I'm not sure why those didn't do as well as like Scary Movie. Cooties is another great horror comedy. Alright, so if we go over to the script, here's what I've got so far. We're gonna talk about, you know, um, thinking about including a frame where I let you guys know where all these movies are streaming. Maybe not like all 58 for either side. I think it was 58 for 2014, and then 57 for 2024. And this is another interesting list. We got two shark movies last year, Under Paris and No Way Up. At least that fit this criteria. Can't believe Speak No Evil is that high up there. Hellboy, Pro, whatever this is. I think that's like maybe an Indian. Yeah, Indian horror, which I've never dove into Indian horror, so I have no idea how to even go about talking about those, because this arguably the best horror movie of last year is from India. Favan, a folk singer of the Panan caste, has a fateful encounter when escaping slavery, leading to him discovering an ancient traditional mansion, altering his destiny. Interesting. 13 only got 13,000 reviews, but it's a 7.8. Interesting. It's a pretty high rating, highest rated last year. Followed by I don't know why Nosferatu and Substance are switched. Got it sorted by IMDb score, and like Nosferatu doesn't have as many 179,000, 281,000. Why are you sorting them like this? Just Watch is such a great uh app, system, website. Um, it's been a little bit. I haven't rewatched Alien Romulus recently, but Is it a spoiler to say that there's more than one xenomorph? Yeah. So back to my script. Potential title. Let's talk about like potential hook. Has horror gotten worse over the past few years? Actually, has horror gotten worse over the past decade? It's a pretty good hook. I'm sure a lot of people have their opinions right off the bat already. Like, has horror gotten worse over the past decade? See what else I could use. Let's see what kind of a hook. Has horror gotten worse over the past decade? I researched over 100 movies to find out. It's not a lie. It's 100 and something movies. And as far as like staying power, like movies that will be remembered for a long time, like I feel like 2024 has a few more memorable movies. Like I mean, from 2014, What We Do in the Shadows is a classic. Death Note 2, I feel like is slept on. I mean, it's got a 6.8, but it's only got 27,000 reviews. Um, so that might actually be like a hidden gem that I can consider covering in the future. Babadook is up there. Housebound. Babadook, I'm surprised it has such a high rating because like that movie gets shit on a lot. Um, it's really interesting to think about as far as like what counts as a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem like fewer than 10,000 reviews. The movie on these lists with the fewest amount of reviews is 23,000, 2,000. 21,000. Two. Okay, so VHS Viral only has 21,000 reviews, and Vec 4 only has 21,000 reviews. I'm kind of surprised that The Strangers Chapter 1 only has 22,000 reviews. Is that correct? The Strangers. Yeah, only 22,000. So its budget was its budget was 8.5 million. Its box office numbers were 35 million US and Canada. They're not going to stop making these shitty movies, are they? I'm surprised. Chapter 2. I feel like chapter 1, 2, and 3 were all supposed to come out last year. Where here's chapter 2. Little side diversion. Let's see. The Strangers, Chapter 2. We got a teaser, know that. It says it's supposed to come out this year. How many reviews does Girl Walks Home Alone at Night have? 39,000. Looking at the Chapter 2 details, and I'm not saying anything about when it's gonna come out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. I'm let's see. So the ratings, yeah, it's a 4.6. Made a shit ton of money at the box office. I'm yelling at ChatGPT. So tell ChatGPT what are some potential hooks for the video. And it's like, the last time a horror movie truly scared you was probably a decade ago. Let me prove it. Like ChatGPT is coming at it as if 2024 sucked for horror, and it totally did not. If horror movies are supposed to scare us, why does 2024 horror feel so safe? Loser. There we go. 2014 versus 2024 horror. Two golden eras of fear compared. That needs some reworking, but it's a little bit better. Is this the best horror has ever been? Let's go back 10 years to find out. 2 years that defined horror, and they're 10 years apart. Okay. We're going in the right direction here. Which of these movies on this list would you rewatch? Hey. Should I like highlight them in green? Which ones I would rewatch? I really wish that I liked what we do in the shadows more than I do. My wife and I we weren't the biggest fans of that. So accordingly, or because of that, additionally, we haven't seen the TV show. But I know people love it. Thank you, Google. I'm not really sure why I didn't put Alien Romulus on this table. I loved Alien Romulus. I guess it just didn't seem fitting. We need a little bit more sci-fi in 2014, I think. In 2024, we had um, Alien, obviously. Then Quiet Place, I guess, is sci-fi. Sting, the creature feature, that could be considered sci-fi. Is there a way to be like, tell me which ones are sci-fi and horror? Hmm. No, it just includes. It's kind of like show me movies that are horror or sci-fi, not movies that are horror and sci-fi kind of thing. Spaceman was that? Ugh. Don't like spiders. Is this another spider movie? Weird. I've never heard of it. It's on Netflix. Spaceman. There it is. Netflix original, it looks like. Not necessarily horror, so this is another side tangent, but oh wait, it's Adam Sandler? Oh, that is what in the fuck? Paul Dano is the voice of the thing. Weird. What is this movie? It's produced in the US and Czech Republic. Have any of y'all seen this movie, Spaceman? Alright. Anyway, that was weird. Spaceman, and Adam Sandler sci-fi flick that came out last year that I'd never heard of. Caddo Lake. That considered horror and sci-fi. I know that's like another time bending one, right? I gotta watch that one. It's on my list. It's on HBO Max. Subservience, I guess, is sci-fi because it's robots. Arcadian. Braid, no more AI. Time cut, time travel. Okay. Tarot. That's just horror. Horror thriller. Exorcismo. Oof, Madam Web at 4.0. Okay. Adding sci-fi only added like 30 titles. So you can tell it to take away movies that have sci-fi in there along with horror, but can't say horror and sci-fi. Weird. So has horror gotten worse over the past decade? I researched over 100 movies to find out. What found footage movies came out last year? I know Frogman is kind of up there. Any other big found footage movies from last year? Interesting. Let's see what they said. Let's look up Frogman on here. So Frogman is rated 5.0 with 1,000 reviews, so that'd be like an underrated thing. Really surprised this music is copyright free. Like I'm gonna get a notice that's like, yo, this isn't copyright free. It does say copyright free music for Twitch. I wonder how different that is for YouTube. There's also a song called As Above, So Below. So no found footage really in 2024. That Frogman. Is Frogman the only found footage movie? So an interesting thing to kind of navigate is movies that premiere like at festivals and stuff one year and then are like widely released the following year. And one example of that is like Late Night with the Devil. Technically came out in 2023, but it was like wide release 2024. Same thing with It Follows. I was like, It Follows the 2014 movie, right? But it premiered at a film festival in 2020 or 2013, no 2014, and it was widely released in 2015. So I couldn't put it on this in this video. Maybe I would compare like Caddo Lake with Time Lapse. They're both time bending sort of movies. So maybe section here about like similarities in genres, time lapse, Cato Lake, slasher. So obviously Terrifier 3 came out last year, that was a slasher. In a Violent Nature we got slasher there. Winnie the Pooh 2 is a slasher, but I'm not gonna be talking about that. The vampire thing is really interesting. Vampires. So we got Nosferatu and Abigail. And back in 2014 we had What We Do in the Shadows. And Dracula Untold. Might ruffle some feathers with that, because not a fan of. I mean, I'm not a fan of Nosferatu. I just think it's a little overrated. When did the first Quiet Place come out? 2018. It's about time for lunch, so I might have to hop off here soon. Right, so I'll get off at 1. So 6 more minutes. Slasher, so we got Violent Nature, Terrifier versus back in 2014. I think we had. There weren't enough to even put one on this list. Slasher. I know that the houses that October built were on there. Or the town that dreaded sundown is what I meant. What was the first movie I said the houses that October built? Both of those are on here. Town that dreaded sundown. A masked maniac terrorizes the same small community where a murderer known as the Phantom Killer struck decades earlier. That's a remake, right? Leaving Tubi soon. Get on it. Clown, I imagine, is a loving father finds a clown suit for his son's birthday party, only to realize the suit is part of an evil curse that turns its wearer into a killer. I feel like if we're comparing slashers, we gotta put at least one of these on there. The house is October built. So let's throw in clown. Hello? Terrifier 3. The town that dreaded sundown. Then body horror, we've got to put Tusk and the substance. I'm not exactly sure how I'm really going to be comparing them or just stating these as like a fact while I'm making my video. If you are here, welcome in. Thanks for watching. It's always great to have you here. I'm running vertical and regular streams here, but if you're here, feel free to say hi, drop your favorite horror movies in the chat. Let's see, check out one of my lists here. My lists. I feel like I have an intro to found footage. Grave Encounter 11, Cloverfield 2008. Alright, we can add a few of these to that intro to As Above, So Below is there already. Creep? I don't have Creep on there. Creep. Intro to found footage. Taking of Deborah Logan. That's going to be a fun video. The intro to found footage. It's going to be hard to decide which movies to include in that. Any other found footage exists? Don't know if that's intro to found footage though. Pyramid wasn't found footage, was it? No, I don't think it was. Alright, what are the horror comedies of each year? Was there like a straight horror comedy that came out last year? We've got Housebound. Oh, also the romantic. We've got Life After Beth. Do that. Like, there we go. Romantic. We got Life After Beth and Lisa Frankenstein. Yeah. Would like totaling the budgets of all these movies matter? Like, is that any sort of criteria to say if a year is better than another when talking about horror? All right, y'all. Well, that's enough research for right now, at least live. I've got to go eat some lunch. But I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be doing some more, a lot more BTS of my video creations, including like the research like I'm doing today, and also just like give you guys a peek in while I'm filming and editing possibly. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun live streaming going on. So make sure to like the live. Like the live, because I'll probably leave it up on the channel just so people can kind of get a peek into my process, and then subscribe, obviously, if you want to keep talking about horror. So I will talk to you guys later.